Hello and thank you for joining Dying of Exposure. My name is Steve and this is episode 4 of Through the Mill. But to start with, an apology. When we were Twitch streaming the episode live on Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, we, as players and Game Mommy, were able to hear ourselves just fine. But unfortunately, the Twitch feed itself had a duplication of the audio for all of the players except for me. This meant that the audio was nigh unlistenable, and since I wasn't paying attention to the Twitch chat busy running the game, I unfortunately missed this until about an hour and a half into the game session. So what this will be is a synopsis of what our players and our posse did on their investigations into the mysteries behind Fredrickson Goodhammer and what his plans might be for the university, the Caspi farm, and so forth. And then the audio will punch in with the episode. We'll transition over to that. You'll watch the rest of the episode, and you can watch the next episode tonight, Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, to see what is to become of our wonderful posse. Back at the tavern, the group gathered to discuss the various machinations of Fredrickson Goodhammer. They discovered that not only were they trying to dupe Krav and Barry into some double play thug intimidation game with the Caspi farm itself, but Patience was being offered a chance to save the university financially by releasing the land that Fredrickson Goodhammer owned back to the Pratts so that they didn't have to pay rent anymore. After discussing the next best course of action, they decide that they should collaborate with the Caspis directly. However, tired from their journeys and interactions, they made the choice to eat dinner, relax, and essentially gain themselves a long rest. Into the evening, and as the sun was setting, they exit the tavern with Trapper breaking off from the group, noticing a couple marshals eyeing him, which of course makes sense, what with having destroyed that bauble and curio shop with that giant tree acorn gimmick that he was completely unaware of. With Trapper separated, the rest of the posse go to the Caspi farms. They meet Earl and Karen Caspi, who seem more than amiable to them, invite them in for dinner. After some discussion, some reviewing of a map, and a bit of investigation and interview, Star discovers that there is a circle of properties on the outer rim of Main Water's wealth, as well as a center dot that it looks like Fredrickson is looking to buy up. They can't make sense of why he would need all this land or be putting on the pressure. Over the last 5 years since he got to Water's Wealth, he has certainly been buying up properties and making money, but he's never been putting the kind of pressure that he has so far today, or that he has so far recently. Patience and group ask if they can investigate the Caspi farm itself and do so. Skataki finds a buried pouch of herbs that he can't identify, but more importantly, Patience finds a bit of sparkly reflection to the dirt. Now, Patience is the only one that can see it, but seems to be very confident that it's definitely sparkling and it's definitely unnatural. Based off of the map and the locations, they return to the nearest section that Fredrickson looks like he's putting the weight on, the stables where they unloaded the mules, and Skataki peed on Fredrickson's leg. Upon looking around, they noticed no one was there. There wasn't much interaction, but they did gather some dirt, and it did match the Caspi farm's dirt in that glittery, reflective glow. At that point, Patience and Skataki break off to go up to the university, and the rest of the crew, Krav, Barry, and Star, go to the southernmost property. That Fredrickson was interested in. Happen upon some ne'er-do-wells that were trying to light up a schoolhouse turned giant barn, trying to figure out what was going on there. They collect a little bit of dirt, certainly, but they also do short work by felling the leader of that group and tying up the other two. Frederick, on their walk back, Skataki and Patience find themselves suddenly accosted by a gentleman hiding in the shadows that Skataki had earlier clocked. With a bit of submission, Skataki was able to lock him down, and Patience, with a awkward threat, seems to be wanting to discuss what he was doing there. That's where we're going to punch into the episode. So give it a listen and enjoy the rest of the episode, and follow us on YouTube as well as over on Twitch. You can follow us there. At Dying of Exposure on social media, Twitter and Facebook. At dying_of_exposure on Twitch and Instagram, and of course the YouTube channel here and the website dyingofexposure.com. Thank you very much. I apologize. The rest of these will be much nicer, and also make sure to catch the side adventure with Trapper to find out what he was doing during the events of episode 4 for the rest of the posse.
As we approach, I will. You're making the attack. What do you want me to do?
Tie him up once I shock him. I don't know. Gosh, I'm not a master tactician.
All right, I will. I'll signal to you when I want you to go. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So as we're walking, I'm going to count down. 3, 2, 1. Shock him.
Okay. I have to touch him to do it. So.
Oh, I throw you at him. No,
Yeet.
All right. So Steve, I'm going to try and as we get close, I'm going to try and dive through the bushes and just land on him. My giant ass. That is my form of submission.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab him.
Okay, so you try to land on him. That's gonna be a strength check because he's not prepared for you to notice him. So that's gonna be an opposed strength for the landing on, and you can roll with advantage because Prudence is helping. She's making sure that he can't really go anywhere.
18.
Yeah, you definitely land on him. He takes, what is your raw unarmed? It should be like 4 damage, maybe more.
4 damage, that's correct.
Yeah, and so he takes damage and everything. You both have him pinned. He's struggling. He's like, get off me, get off. Your hairy butt is on me. Oh, I can feel you're not wearing anything under that loincloth. Oh, God.
Who are you working for?
I'm going to jump on him, headbutt him a couple of times, and then roll off so Patience can shock the hell out of him.
Who are you working for? Okay, so we're going to play that out. That happens. Patience, do you then lay your hand on him to shock him?
I think she, the little sparks kind of start going. She's like, I'm gonna get you, so tell me.
Patience, roll advantage on intimidation, and I want it from Patience.
I'm significantly better at this than I should be. Okay, ooh, good thing that wasn't, there was 2 rolls there. Okay, so 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So in her, I bet it sounds vaguely unhinged probably instead of nervous. So she's like, I'm gonna shock ya.
Good hammer. I work for Good Hammer. I'm just glad to not have that taint on me. Oh, God. And he just starts panicking. It's so hairy and so wet. It's so moist.
Ew.
That's right.
It is heat season, right? You got to believe that Skataki is very damp as a fur-covered creature. And it's it's so moist. As a hair-covered creature, I should say. All the worst features from anthropomizing a furred creature: sweat glands and fur. So he's like, Good Hammer said that I was just supposed to rough you up a bit. I didn't expect him to be there. And he kind of nod heads to that. He's rubbing his head. He's barely conscious. His eyes are all woozy. He's wet himself. Of course, it's not a lot, a little pee, but enough that everyone knows.
Yeah. Boston Terrier is excited you just got home.
Did he want to attack me? Is that... He just needs to figure out what the hell he wants. Does he want me to work for him, or does he want me to die? I don't know.
He told me to say I was sent from the Caspi farm. He told me to say that they wanted you to. They were agreeing that you should sell your land. I don't know. He just gave me money and said, rough up, say you're working for the Caspies to try and get the school to sell their land instead of the Caspies selling their land and everything. And that's it.
Well, you can tell him that I was thinking about doing it, but now we better have a better offer since he tried to cross me. Yeah. Yeah, and so the guy's like, "All right, do you let off of him? Do you let him get up?" Yeah. You let him get up. Do you do anything before he runs back with his tail between his legs, his proverbial tail, not actual tail? I don't particularly like to make people piss themselves. Like, that's not me. But I can't control what Skataki does.
Are we sure we want to let him go?
He'll carry my message back.
Okay.
That's my theory.
Okay. He could... I draw a sword and point it at him and say, he could carry it back with 9 fewer fingers. Just saying.
Patience.
I'm waiting for him to run off.
Yeah.
Oh, he definitely just books. He panics.
He skedaddles.
He skedaddles very quickly, and runs off to do the thing. And then I assume y'all just make your way back up to the university, back to the college, unless you divert from that path.
Nope.
All right, so we're going to cut quickly back to the southern schoolhouse turned barn. 3 tied up bandits, all slowly blurring themselves back up to essentially 1 HP so that they can consciously interact with people. And they're all like, and one of them looks to the other and is like, Dale, I swear to God, half our missions end up with us hogtied like this. At the end of it, I have told you time and time again, we need to just do normal work. And Dale just kind of is like, shut up. I didn't give them names originally. Shut up, other Dale.
It's the triplets all named Dale.
No, 2 of them are named Dale. One of them's named James. It's 2 Dales and a James.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
they're conscious.
I'm definitely going to other Dale first, and just like crossbow still drawn, leaning up. Pushing my thumb into one of the spots I know I went through his shoulder and asking them what exactly they're here for and why.
Other Dale looks at you and is like, oh, you don't gotta torture me. So here's the deal. Good Hammer is absolutely trying to buy this property. Now, this property isn't currently being used, but it is a large former schoolhouse. Good Hammer is trying to undersell these much poorer farmers on the property, or under offer to them, and they weren't budging, and he didn't want to spend any more, so he thought if we just burn down the schoolhouse, that's the valuable thing on the property. Their farm isn't doing too great, so then they'd be forced to sell, and he could come in with an even lower offer. That's exactly what he sent us to do. We were gonna burn it, but then you interrupted us with your attack, and I am sorry we have inconvenienced your day. If you would feel so fit as to allow us to extricate ourselves, we will gladly walk away from this situation. Pride not intact, but lungs and hearts still operating. So I
asked
Dale,
why exactly
Dale is like, fuck you.
Why exactly
fuck
does he
you,
want
other
this so
Dale.
bad?
You're a coward, other Dale. He's like, you can kill that Dale. I don't even like him. Keep James along though. We've been together for 3 years. It would hurt my feelings if you killed my significant other.
I apologize to other Dale for being heavy-handed with a thumb poke, and I assure him I wasn't going to torture him, but I do appreciate him being so loose with the information.
And then,
sorry, Barry, what were you saying?
You were saying something.
I said, do you have any idea why he wants this property so badly? He seems downright desperate for a man who could probably buy any other property not inside town.
We don't ask a lot of questions of the guy that's putting money in our pocket. Technically I'm not the Dale in charge. That's the Dale in charge. Now, if I were in his position, I would, of course, investigate the motivations behind the jobs we take so that we knew we weren't hurting any good people. That's just me. That's just James. But Dale's been in charge of our little for-hire company. He's listed as the CEO on the S-Corp application because we let him fill it out. This motherfucker bamboozled us, but then we were stuck. He was offering to bring legal fees. I am so sorry. I am rambling about some personal shit I've been going through for the past few years in my dissatisfactions with employment. That is literally everything I know about this job. Burn down this thing, collect money, and continue to be a valuable part of Good Hammer's organization. He did offer me a sweet security deal at the new casino if we did this successfully, but now I'm thinking I will pursue employment elsewhere.
So I have a bargain to make with you. We're gonna go down to the constable's place. You're gonna tell them what you just told me, and I'm not gonna dislocate your arm.
That seems absolutely fine by me. I will gladly say whatever. We can throw other things on Good Hammer. You want us to say that he messes around with kids? Most people hate that. Actually, no, even worse. He starts dogfighting rings. That's absolutely what Good Hammer does. He fucking kicks parrots. He just kicks them. They're all cute and talking and shit, and he just kicks them. We'll say whatever you want.
Well, I would prefer it to actually be the truth. So if those things are true,
no,
great.
None of them are true. That would be a very lazily written villain. Anyway, that would be like some fucking Twilight shit villainy right there. Just bullshit.
I look over at Crab and I'm like, it feels like we're cleaning up this town for these people, doesn't it?
I feel very good about
two
this.
sets of bandits in a day. It's getting a little ridiculous around here.
2 sets of bandits. Who else did you guys knock around?
What were they called again? The lawless family?
Yes, they were cawled the lawless family. Thank you for remembering my NPCs, even though you did not know their name in the conflict. The lawless family.
Well, we did after the conflict.
Yeah, you did after
it was
the
mentioned.
fact. I appreciate it. I mentioned it one time. Very good memory.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, the lawlesses. You took on the lawlesses. If we'd known you'd taken on the lawlesses earlier, we would have just handed you the equipment and been like, what do you need us to do? And everything.
What equipment is that?
Other Dale explodes out of his bonds. Not other Dale, sorry. The main Dale, the Dale that you've not been talking
Dale
about.
Prime.
Dale Prime explodes out of his bonds, furious.
With a crossbow pointed towards his head.
Yeah, furious and everything.
And
he goes to
we were all
attack.
holding our weapons.
Yeah, it does not matter. He
Right.
goes to attack, and he goes to attack Star, and he goes to attack Star, and he rolls a natural 3, which means it didn't matter what you were doing, and everything. And I'm just gonna play that he runs his face into the crossbow bolt, and it into the crossbow bolt, and he kills himself on your crossbow bolt. It's so fast that you're just like, oh fuck! Dale Prime is dead. The other Dale is like, you know what? I'm not even sad. I never liked that guy, and he ran his face into your crossbow bolt for some reason. That can be. I mean,
I'm gonna lean down and grab the crossbow bolt out of his head and hand it back.
Back to Star.
Back to Star.
I'm gonna take that and just wipe it on my pants and put it back in my. case.
That was a weird moment. It was a weird moment.
I am gonna ask our now good friend, Only Dale.
Only Dale. He's been upgraded
what
to Only Dale.
Are you speaking of specifically?
What? Oh, they had. He nods with his head because he's tied up. You can see a bunch of oil canisters, some flint and matches, and everything. They were going to burn this place to the ground, so they had supplies to do such. Nothing. They don't have anything like good on them.
Was it like in a cart or something that they had?
No, it's tucked away in a stable. But he nods at you, and when you kind of like lean to look directly there, you're like, "Oh, that's not just random," or it's tucked away in like a kind of like a sectioned off stable section of the barn that you're in a hallway cubby, and you're like, "Oh, that's not just a random stuff with some leftovers." You can see kind of through the little converted closet doorway that it's a bunch of like stuff to light up a old schoolhouse.
I say we take that. That could be useful later.
I mean, you're welcome to. It's a couple like essentially canisters of oil, and some flint and some matches, just in case they weren't very good with the flint, and
it's all
that's
things
about
we
it.
have.
Some rags.
Could still be useful to have more.
Yeah, it's always useful to have more.
Yeah.
So he tells you that you all walk him back to the constable. I'm going to kind of play that out a little bit, but I need some variables from you.
Okay.
So if you're walking him back to the constable, do any of you go inside, or do you do the classic sort of like dump him kind of method? How do you return him to the constable? Him and James.
I'm going to walk him inside, and I'll be like, this man over here has something he wants to tell you.
He immediately starts spilling his guts on that. He tells the constable, it's like, this is there. The guy at the desk, different guy, but he starts just going through his files, and he's like, all right, I'm going to need you to fill out some paperwork here. And he starts...
I'm definitely already left.
Star already left and everything.
I'm going to glare at him. I'm going to say, you should do that paperwork for me.
Roll either an intimidation or persuasion, whichever one you want to do it.
Intimidation. And I rolled an 18.
That intimidates him. He's like, okay, I can fill. You don't have to fill out the paperwork. And so they take him into custody, and then you heard him say everything you want, that he confessed.
And then I also said, make sure to go easy on him since he was so darn polite.
Hey, thanks. Hey, can my significant other be in the same cell with me? And they're like, well, yeah, I mean, sure, I guess. And so they just they just put them in the same cell. That allowed them to be in the same cell together, so that they could both sit. James and Dale are both sitting there. They're unbound. They're now in the jail cell, and they are quietly whispering to each other. And they seem like a little upset about this, but you see that they're actually rather happy to be rid of Dale Prime, and just have only Dale.
Other Dale was the worst.
Yeah, this other Dale as opposed to only Dale.
Dale Prime was the worst. Only Dale, who was other Dale.
I see
because it
what
was
you were putting.
Dale and other Dale.
Dale,
by the way,
Barry is putting down, I think, which is that Dale Prime was demoted to other Dale.
Can we retroactively do one small thing before we left the barn? Can I make sure that I grabbed a soil sample?
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh
sure.
yeah. Sorry. Good thinking.
Barry's looking out for me.
So, you, Krav, and Star, Barry, Krav, and Star, do you all head over to the university as per planned?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So you get to the university. Patience's parents have already gone to bed. There are some students kind of like studying by double moonlight. Or by fires, and everything sitting around. This is not, like a modern our-world university, but it is kind of like a college campus. There are dormitories for students to stay. There is the house that Patience and her parents live in, which is kind of like an apartment at the top of said dormitories. And that's where they stay. And then there are like a couple separate buildings, and it is kind of spread out. It is kind of like there's a quad, if you will. The quad is nice. It's got a little fountain with it, and everything. It's green. It's pleasant. It's all made out of brick and stone. So the college is not an unnice place. It's just unfortunately spans at the touching point between multiple landholders now, which are pretty much either the college or Goodhammer. So you walk walk up to the university. Some students kind of point you in the way. Where are Patience and Skataki?
Probably I assume there is a library.
Yeah, there's absolutely.
So, and I assume there is one library and not multiple. So I assume that is where Patience is. She probably has like her own like nook that is kind of in the back of the library where she likes to go, where no one will like look at her. She can just like study and be ignored.
All right, Patience and Skataki. Skataki, are you trying to help read through these books? Are you just wandering around?
I am. So when we get there, I'm going to remind her that we probably want to get soil from here as well, since
I was thinking the same thing.
But then I'm just here to guard Patience. So I settle up into a corner, kind of pull a hat down in front of my eyes a little bit to simulate sleeping, and I just wait.
Patience, I'm gonna have you roll investigate or investigation.
Okay, not history.
No, not history, because you've got all the books.
I'm not relying on my brain as much. My investigation is not as high as my history.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it.
You bastard. I mean, I love you, game mommy. Don't punish me.
And so now.
Why?
It's
sorry.
It's a bit of there. So, Patience, what did you roll?
I rolled a 6 plus 3 for investigation, so I only got like a 9. I'd hope being surrounded by the books would perhaps give me advantage.
No, not immediately, but it will eventually. So you don't find anything before Starberry and Krav come through. Starberry and Krav are led by a student of the college to the library, because they said that Patience is almost always in the library if she's not in her home, and it's a little late to go calling in her home, so check the library. There's a librarian at the desk, a front clerk. It is a little tiny gnome, and he is currently jotting down little notes on returned books, and it's real unfortunate that he has library duty, because the books are like bigger than him, and so he's not wearing a shirt and he's sweating as he kind of like moves them along the book cart to line them up to be returned by someone bigger, and he's yoked, like he's super yoked, but like he's still little, his strength is still there.
He's like a library laborer,
no, he just drew clerk duty for the night, so he's checking in all the returns from the day. He can't push the cart all.
He's a library gnome.
Yeah, he's got a big white beard and a tall red cone hat, and his name is David. He's an older person looking to further his education, but he is just ripped, and he's just pushing them and everything, and he's like, and everything. He seems busy though, but you all can easily kind of browse the library. You can ask the clerk if they know where Patience is. You can wander around. We're gonna say, because you're sort of posted up looking, Skataki, you see them come in.
Okay.
All right. I finally shut up. I'd been manically yammering on about how awesome I thought I was in that combat pretty much since we left the station. And everybody's
You
getting
were
really
pretty
fucking
cool.
annoyed
That
with
was
it.
pretty awesome. Especially when that dude threw his face right into your crossbow.
Oh,
And,
So good you get them to kill themselves.
And so I finally shut the fuck up. I turned to the gnome, and I'm specifically doing that. I'm asking if Patience is in the library.
the gnome turns to you, sweating, breathes kind of heavy and everything like that. He picks up a flask of water, pours it on himself, and into his mouth like he's fucking trying to sell you something.
Kind of tugging at my collar a little bit at this point.
And he's like,
Oh, Dave, the sexy library gnome? Yeah, I know the guy.
I'm into it.
Dave's like, oh yeah, and he's like, I think she's over there, and he does that like flex arm thing when he points and everything, and it's so vascular. It's so vascular. It's just like works. Like it's obvious that this guy gets into it physically all day, every day. And
And I'm over here, Barry's just like impressed. He's like, good on you.
This gnome is so jacked.
Strength is my lowest roll. I like a tough man that I can still bench press.
Palm press and everything, and he's like,
This is wonderful for me. I'm getting a little distracted even. I'm like, Patience who?
Patience who? Just gnome, just like,
I'm like looking at him like, I gotta get his routine later.
Right?
Learning.
I'm thinking we can start our own routine.
Oh no.
I need to know. All right, your charisma's high enough, so this gnome looks at you, and everything, and you can see he caught like a moment of the look, and he's like, hey, you a student here? You a student?
I'm absolutely not a student here, honey.
Oh, that's good. I have a policy about not seeing any of the students, but if you're looking for something to do, maybe tomorrow night, that's my cheat day. I let myself drink maybe a tavern later, and then he winks, and then he just goes back to working. He's very ready. I rolled a 19 perception for him.
Sure.
So he's like, yeah, you feeling it? I'm feeling
I scribbled some notes down while the rest of the group starts walking, and then I'm catching up.
I love it. You now have a date with the library gnome.
Dave the library gnome. Audience, this is Dungeons and Dragons. Don't at me about 50. Well, he's probably like 300 years old, but a man that looks like he's just a jacked 55 to 60-year-old man. Just hitting on a 19-year-old tabaxi. It's fine. It's Dungeons and Dragons. We're having fun.
Yeah. I'm probably 2.5 times his height, but also
you are so much more than that.
40 pounds lighter.
You're a solid 6 times how tall this person is. He's a gnome. Gnomes. He's
That
like a
makes
tree
certain
gnome.
things really easy and other things really hard.
He's no, you're closer to like 3. Yeah, you're closer to 3.5 times his height. He's like 2 feet tall.
More than I thought.
Yeah, and so he's a little bigger than half the size. Although you don't know exactly because he got that pointy hat. So you walk back to Patience. That was a necessary part of the campaign. You walk back to Patience. I don't know why I felt the need to give you a sexy man gnome, but with huge
About damn time is what it was.
yeah, it's really. All of my sexiest characters will be middle-aged men. I have a problem.
It's called daddy issues.
Yeah, I definitely have them.
I've got a YouTube video I could
gonna
point you to
rebrand-
about that.
I hope you're all okay with me rebranding this campaign as don't at me, Shubzilla. I see you there. So you go back. God, this is so distracting. I should not do this in the future. There should just not be weird.
Are people
footage
messaging you right now?
Right
Like
now.
on
Shubs it's just Shubs.
No hot.
Shubs is gracing herself with our presence in the chat.
Thank you, Shubs.
Gracing us with her presence. But It's not like multiple people being like, I can't believe this. I'm not.
Nasty man.
I'm not gonna be reported to Twitch for this. It's not a child-friendly stream. So now you're all back by the books. You can see that Skataki is kind of posted up. Krav and Barry, you immediately recognize kind of what he's doing. And Star, you see that he might appear to be sleeping. Patience is working on books and everything to try and discover it. Download dump as you will. What do you say? What do you do?
Can I ask a serious question?
Yeah.
How come they got like a real combat and then sexy time, and we got a guy in a book? I don't feel like this campaign is.
This is what you get for splitting up.
I tricked you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have followed me.
Damn it.
Patience was supposed to have this. Honestly, the way I wrote this, Patience was supposed to have this like real hard, sexy. Patience was gonna work real hard to deal with this one-on-one combat with this martial character, and then all of you were gonna either go out hunting for the house, and then when Skataki was there, I was like, all right, well, if Skataki's there, this is gonna be real easy. Patience was gonna have this real struggle, possibly get kidnapped. It was gonna be this whole thing, and with Skataki there, it was nothing. So that is your fault for playing your character right. I have punished you. You're welcome. I'll give you a treat in the next episode, Skataki. Don't worry. I'll give you your very own sexy, middle-aged, jacked, 55-year-old dude. It won't be a gnome, though, because I don't want to seem like I'm just doing it for everyone. It'll be a different, but also tiny-raced person.
A harem's no fun if they're all.
You all don't have ally NPCs. You just have like various concubines that you've collected of these tiny, middle-aged men.
Finally, my Western D&D themed harem can become a reality.
Nothing but scenes of morning bathings and streams and stuff like that. That's a horrible campaign or a wonderful campaign.
So I think.
Have you found anything?
Well, other than that, Goodhammer will not rest until I have been put in the ground, apparently. He had some guy try to rough me up, but Skataki sat on him.
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, I'd be more okay if I could get anything out of these books, but I don't know, maybe I'm picking the wrong ones.
Maybe we should ask the librarian. Get David over here to help us find a book for you.
I'm not going to ask.
Thank you. Don't bring David over here. I don't want to play him that much longer.
I do.
David always gets me to read the same books, and they're all histories on like martial combat and like bodybuilding. Who cares about ancient bodybuilding? Me a little bit, but not that much. What about y'all?
Well, we found some bandits at that house, at that barn on the south side of town. They're trying to burn it down. We roughed them up. One of them killed themselves on Star's crossbow bolt. It was wild.
Yeah.
What?
That was a weird one.
It was all sorts of crazy.
Are you?
Did he accidentally die when you shot him in the face?
Didn't even get a shot off.
And then he actually reported of a local constable for us that he was hired to burn the building down by Frederickson Goodhammer. So it's now on record that he is participating in criminal activity.
Oh, well.
That changes things.
Yeah, I thought y'all just made him piss his pants so bad that he tried to kill himself, but...
Well, no, that one of them did piss their pants. I mean, for some reason that just seems to happen around us.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it's gonna...
Bad bladder control in water's well. Something in the water. Something in the water ain't right.
Oh, and I got you a vial of dirt from there as well, and I hand that to her.
Oh, gimme.
Did you get one of those from here as well?
Oh, I didn't even think about it. I just came straight to the library.
I guess if we're gathering some, we should get from the corner that he's bought up that he owns.
Yeah.
I don't know if that matters or not.
Maybe. but it might just be because I don't know.
Or that just might be his inroad to taking over the whole property. So I don't
He
know
might
if that
not
even
need
matters.
much of it, but maybe. Let me look at this dirt. Hold on. Is the dirt shiny? I'm gonna like put the dirt not in the moonlight, but in candlelight. I want to know if it's glowy.
In candlelight, it's not glowy.
But
But if you put it over to a window by the moonlight, it is glowy.
Okay. So it's moon activated.
Yeah. Of course, to you guys, it just looks like she's putting like dirt. So she's like,
Just looking around.
I like that you're all confident Patience is definitely seeing something. No one else can see it.
local charity case, Patience Pratt.
I just assume it's demon dirt.
Yeah.
Kataki
hasn't
like
said
a
anything,
Truman
but-
show, but much less interesting.
Yep.
Patience with dirt. Ooh.
Right. Yes,
but yeah,
Kataki
if
knows
you,
her. This is completely in character.
Yeah, if you want to get me another jar, 3 out of 4 would be great. But if we could get 4 out of 4, now there we're cooking with gas.
Okay, we're gonna because we're getting close to 10, and I want to get to a certain point. Patience,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you roll. Let's see. One of you goes out to get a jar. Patience, roll d20 5 times on investigation, and give me your highest number.
Okay, well I'm just gonna roll a couple d20s. That seems like an easier way to do this. How many I got?
Yeah.
3. I must be missing one. 16. Whew. Okay, so 16, a 1, and a 6. And a 20. Yeah, so 20 plus, you said it was investigation,
rolled a
so
nat
23.
20?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got your nat 20. So you.
Yes, thank you for letting me roll that many dice.
Pouring over the die. I was gonna let you roll as many dice as there were people around. None of you have seen Trapper. The Trapper just lit out and everything for the moment, but has not returned. Patience, you quickly after they go. Now that you see that it's moon activated specifically, it gives you another like lineup of how to research this, because now that you know that it has to have some sort of lunar, celestial kind of nighttime specific thing.
Yeah. Rather than just like glitter dirt. Is that anything?
Glitter dirt was not your greatest search query to go
Just
through.
checking every index of the book for glitter dirt.
And you quickly find out that this is dirt that has been affected by either a celestial or fiendish dark magic during the night of 2 full moons. So it's not so much that somebody has cast anything on it; they cast around it when it was happening. So these dirt samples have been in specific areas where moon and the moons were full and magic was cast around them, so they picked up this, and the magic has to be pretty serious magic. It can't be simple cantrips or like, make flame or something. It has to be significant, powerful magic. The more it glitters, or the more area that glitters, is the more powerful the spell was and the greater its reach.
So it was either... Is it just magic in general, or is it like you said, abyssal
it has
or
to be,
something else?
Yeah, it has to be abyssal or celestial specifically magic.
Can I? So having fiends as my primary enemy, or my I can't remember what the term is.
Yeah.
My special friend enemy.
Yeah, your
friend enemy.
Your foe.
I can't remember.
Frenemy.
Can I roll on that?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is something Skataki might actually know.
Sure.
Yeah. Celestial or abyssal. Wild.
Probably not. 17. I don't think we're learning anything new.
No. You know that fiends can do things to natural environments and everything. So Skitaki's like, yes, this makes sense, because fiends fuck up the natural order of things, as do celestials for that matter.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Where we get mutants.
So then the question is this a place of how common are double full moons?
Double full moons happen once every calendar year. And they do happen on the same time, at the same rotation. Otherwise, they're just gently out of sync. Double full moons are often celebrated similar to like when the bouncing DVD box finally hits the perfect corner on a DVD and everything, because a lot of times it always seems like it's about to be a double full moon. Educated people know that they're just going to happen this one time no matter what.
Yeah.
But a lot of superstitious people say that if you're ever in a year that has two double full moons, you're either blessed or cursed. So it will be the worst or best year of your life. But as far as anyone in modern society knows, they happen at the same time every calendar year. And oh, look at that. In the next 5 days, it will happen to be a new double full moon.
Hence the desperation.
But if the double full moon and casting it is what causes it, then why would he need a place where it's already been cast? Unless he's trying to pin down a place that's casting it, or unless it's not being cast at all, but it's a natural occurrence.
Or maybe there's some sort of ritual that he's trying to repeat.
That feels like the dirt is a consequence. I mean, unless this stuff is...
Well, if he's coming here specifically and aiming straight for locations where there was already some shifty magic happening, maybe he's trying to repeat that. That's the whole reason he's in Waterswell to begin with. We got to figure out what was the result of that previous casting, I would assume.
He's been here for 5 years. So something, give or take, you said like 5 years since he's been
about
here,
5
right?
years, yeah.
Oh, no, you're right. These happen every year. So he wouldn't have come here for that. But that's how long has he been trying to acquire these pieces of property then?
The last year or so?
Yeah. As far as for your property, it's been about a year, 2 years max.
Okay.
I wonder, I mean, here's my initial theory, is that maybe it's not someone casting it or he cast it, but it's some natural environmental thing that will happen in these places. And that's probably why he's so freaked out about it too.
So
yeah, if it's outside of his control, he can't just wait the next year.
As you are discussing this, suddenly, you hear a large crash at the door. Skitaki with advantage, Krav with advantage, Barry with advantage. I want you to roll perception, and then normal perception for Star and Patience.
Okay.
18.
19.
22.
Dirty 20.
What did Patience get?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that it was not just people with advantage rolling.
Yeah, no, just regular roll for perception.
Okay, regular roll for perception. 5.
All right, so
I love it, though.
Learning.
That's so perfect for you because
That's
you're
so
just so
perfect.
raptured in what you're doing.
Yeah.
at the doorway of the library, you see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you see a half dozen men, a half dozen men, terrifying hound, and another couple men kind of behind them. The half dozen men are in regular arms, the other couple men are in kind of finer clothes, and one of them's holding the terrible hound, and they just bust into the library. David, just because the clerk's desk is right there, just gets knocked back by the shattered wood of the doors and everything.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Yeah, David gets knocked back.
Not David.
Knocked back to the shattered doors, And on the next session, I'm going to have all of you roll initiative. The library is under attack.
You mother... No!
I love it. It's finally giving you a real reason to fight. How dare they? This place is like sacred to you.
This is basically church.
So next session we will start with initiative and we will get into the combat. This has been Through the Mill, episode 4. My name has been Steve. I have been your game mommy. I would like to thank Greg's Burritos Kataki Scato. I realize I don't know all your last names, so it's first names for the rest. Camille Patience, Brandon Barry, not Josh as Trapper because he wasn't here. Selene Starr and Dan Tholomew as Crab. Thank you very much for watching. Watch us here every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, or you can watch us over on Dying of Exposure's YouTube, youtube.com/Dying of Exposure, and look for the bonus episode that will also be uploaded where we find out what happened to Trapper during this entire time.
I know, I'll be watching it.
Goodbye.
What's the opposite of howdy?
Dowdy. I don't know.